maybe it's a common day. I just stay at the company and keep working, and at night I study English and try to enhance my speaking skills.
That's great. Wow, that's very good, Elon. Amazing. So I know last week we spoke about e-commerce. And today we are talking about KPMG. So I can see you're into electronics, marketing, things to do with income and money. So I see like a general idea of what your interests are. So, Elon, are you a student or do you work?
I have worked. I'm a software
Very good.
engineer.
So you could say, okay, so you could say, I have a job. I am a software engineer. Very good. So this makes sense then. This makes sense why you want to learn about e-commerce and KPMG. Very good. Excellent. So now, Elon, have you heard of KPMG before? Do you know what KPMG is?
Sorry, I haven't heard about that thing.
That's okay. That's okay. We're going to learn about them today, but they are a very well known big company. So they are a big company that deals with tax, they deal with auditing, they deal with consulting, and many other services. But they are a very, very big company. So we're going to learn a little bit about them today. We're going to learn a little bit about finance and that kinds of good stuff. But more importantly, we're going to learn about English. So let's get started. So, question number one. Could you read question number one?
Okay. Why do companies produce financial statements? Briefly,
Keep reading. Keep
okay,
reading.
briefly describe the importance of such activities onto an organization.
Excellent. Perfect. Perfect. So let's start with number one. Why? Why do companies produce financial statements?
Sorry, to be honest, I don't understand this. What this question means?
So first off, let's take a step back. Do you know what a financial statement is? Do you know what a financial statement
I'm not
is?
sure, but I guess maybe it's about something. A company give a data of what they have earned to the public or
Yeah,
to the customers.
absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. So obviously it's a little bit more complex than that, but yes, that was a very great summary. So a financial statement, it's kind of a summary of the financial status of a company. So they talk about stuff like income, profits, how much they're spending, what their costs are, and many, many things. So we kind of just answered our question, and you kind of just answered the questions. So why do companies produce it? You kind of just answered, but I want you to describe, why is it important? Describe the importance of such activities unto an organization. So describe, why is this important?
I I know a little about this thing, but I guess that
Yeah,
maybe maybe a company want to prove that uh, the company can produce many value to the public, and they also want to show that should the conference to the investors.
Ah, very good, excellent. So, Elon, you gave a lot of really great ideas, but we've discussed this last week. But when you give an answer, you want to be as clear and short as possible. So, in a few words or in one short sentence, what would you say the most important part of a financial statement is?
Yeah, I think maybe it's about
Hmm.
they want to figure out what the how much they have earned.
Figure out how much they earned. Excellent. They want to figure out how much they earn. So this is a great sentence, fantastic sentence. But if we were to rephrase it in saying, why is it important? We could say, instead of saying they want to figure out how much they earned, we could say it is important to show how much they earned. That is a way of describing an importance of having a financial statement. Okay? But
Yeah,
that's okay. That's okay, Elon. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get into more details. These are just warm-up questions. So what is question number two? Number two.
what can you tell about a company from a mere inspection of its financial statements?
So, Elon, between you and I, this sentence is a little bit wordy. This has some unnecessary words. So if I were writing this, I would say, what can't you tell about a company from looking at its financial statements? From looking at its financial statements. That is a little easier to read and makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah,
So Elon, what can you tell about a company from looking, what can't you tell about a company from looking at its financial statements?
yeah. Speaking of this, of the of these statements, I think maybe we can't figure out what the company have contributes to the environment or the what whether it is valued for is value for investors to invest.
Very good, very good. So, Elon, I took the first part of your sentence because you made a really good sentence. So, I would say we can't figure out what the company contributes to the environment. So, that is a great example. You start by saying we can't figure out, which is what the question is asking, what the company contributes to the environment. So, that is a very, very good example. Okay. So, what is question number three? What is question number three?
Apart from finances, what are some other ways of monitoring a company's marketplace performance? Please give
Very good, very good.
yeah
So I want you to
specific
say this word
examples.
again. Very good. So this is
Market,
market. You
market,
said market, marketplace, marketplace.
market, market.
Exactly, exactly. Again, I want to simplify this question for you. Let's simplify it a little bit. So, apart from finances, what are some other ways of monitoring a company's performance? Could you think of one example? One example?
Well, I'm not good at this question, but I can guess that maybe we can we can find out something from the public openings, or the view
Okay.
of or the view from the public, and and
Okay.
the opening from the government.
For the public opinion or the government. Very, very good. Excellent, excellent. So Elon, very good sentence. Very, very good sentence. But me, whenever I'm answering a question, I like to do something called paraphrasing. Paraphrasing. What that means is taking words from the question and using it in your answer. So we can find out something from the public opinions or the government is a good answer, but an even clearer example is saying, let's pick a word. So we could say, apart from finances, monitoring a company's performance, we could use this in our answer. So we could say, apart from finances, we can monitor a company's performance by getting public opinion. By getting public opinion. So it's very clearly answering the question, and you're giving a perfect answer. So what we're doing, we are paraphrasing. We are taking parts of the question to answer the question as clearly as possible.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Excellent. So Elon, both very good answers. Your sentence was great, but this one is a little bit more clear because the answer is very clearly pulling information from the question. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so those were our discussion questions. Do you have any questions before we move on?
Okay. So far so good.
So far so good. Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay. So, now we are going to go on to some vocabulary words. So, what is number 1?
Phrasing. Phrasing means the way
Perfect.
something is expressed in words through the careful selection of nouns, adjectives, adverbs, figures of speech, etc.
Very good, very good. Excellent. So, Elon, in last class we talked about breaking words down. Breaking words down. So,
express,
the root of the word is press. Press. So, expressed. Expressed. Can you say expressed?
Expressed.
Very good. You really want to make it sound, not I. Expressed. Okay? Very good.
Expressed.
Perfect. Very well done. Perfect, perfect. And now vocabulary word number 2. Vocabulary word number 2.
Okay. I'll try to... It means feudal.
feudal,
Perfect. Very well done. That was perfect. Yeah, perfect
describes a social system that existed in Europe during the Middle Ages, in which people worked and fought for nobles who gave them protection and the use of land in return.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, very well done. So, Elon, perfect reading. And now I see we have our second student. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome to class.
feudal,
Okay, teacher, nice to meet you again. I'm sorry, late.
Likewise. That's okay, that's okay. So, Jennifer, I believe you were in our class last week about e-commerce.
Yes, you're
Does that
right.
sound familiar?
With
Elon, exactly.
Elon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. Excellent. So, Jennifer, because you missed the first 15 minutes, I'm just going to summarize it in about 10 seconds. But today's class is about
Thank you.
KPMG. They are a very, very large tax auditing and consulting company. Elon and I went over some discussion questions where we discussed financial statements. We talked about the financial health of a company, and we talked about sentence structure and paraphrasing. Now we are talking about vocabulary. Elon just did a fantastic job reading the vocabulary words phrasing and feudal. And now, Elon, I just quickly wanted to point out the root word of feudal is feud. A feud is to have a disagreement or an argument. So feudal describes more of a social system or approach or philosophy to life. So feudal means to butt heads, to disagree, to be not on the same page. But very good job. Now, Jennifer, could you read our third vocabulary word?
Okay, thank you so much. Tenant, a person, business group, etc. that pays to use another fixed period of time under a signed leasing agreement.
Very good. Perfect. Okay, Elon.
Tenant.
Vocab number 4.
Okay. Maybe it means
shorthand,
providing rapid or abbreviated communication or representation.
Very good. Very good. So this is a little bit of a tricky word. This word right here, abbreviated. Can you say abbreviated?
Abbreviated.
Yeah, so let me break this word down because this is a hard word. So
Abbreviated.
Perfect. Abbreviated. Very, very good. Exactly. So these are really big words, so I'm just going to make this nice and simple. Shorthand just means the short version, a short form. So Jen is shorthand for Jennifer. Some people may call Jennifer Jen for shorthand Jennifer. Some people may call an automobile auto. Anything that is a short version is a shorthand version. Okay, now, Jennifer, our last vocabulary word.
Omission, an instance of being deliberately left out or unstated.
Exactly. Omission is very simple. To leave something out. Very, very good job.
Omission.
Woo, okay, those were a lot of tricky words, but you guys did very well. Do you have any questions?
No.
No questions? Very
No,
good.
thank you.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, so Elon and Jennifer, the next few
Abbreviated.
slides are going to have a lot of words and a lot of reading. So what I want us to do, rather than jumping back and forth too much, we are going to take turns. We will take turns reading. So we'll get Elon to read this slide, and then Jennifer will read the next one. So you will both have a chance to read a lot. Okay, so
liability,
Elon, start us off with our introduction.
Okay. Introduction. Limited liability companies must present their shareholders with a report detailing the business current financial position on an annual basis. By law, the accounts of such a company must be audited by external registered registered auditors in order
Very good.
to
Perfect.
to verify their authenticity. The auditor must be satisfied that the accounts present a true and fair view of the company's financial situation. This rules freezing points to the fact that accounting is far from an exact success, but rather open to a great deal of subjective interpretation.
Very good. Elon, that was amazing. There's a few words you stumbled on and were a little bit tricky, but you self-corrected and you did a beautiful, beautiful job reading them. So very well done. Now this was very interesting. You said this word, so this word right here many
Audit.
times perfectly. But this one you struggled with. What is this word?
Audited.
Audit.
Ah, exactly. Audited. Very good. Excellent. So before we talk about one specific word, the word up here, I want to ask, Jennifer or Elon, are there any
Present.
words here that you didn't understand? Or do you have any questions?
No question, thank you.
No.
Elon, any questions?
No.
Very good. So there's just one word I want to talk about, and that is this word right here. Could you read this word, Elon?
Present.
Ah, very good. And Jennifer, could you read this word?
Jennifer?
Present.
Jennifer, could you...
Yeah.
Yeah, Jennifer, could you read this word?
Present.
Can you hear me? Present.
I could hear you.
Present.
Very good. Excellent. So I wanted to highlight this word because this can be really confusing. There are many. English is such a confusing language. The same word with the same spelling means many different things. So could you think of what the word present means?
Gift.
Yeah, so there's a present. A present is a gift. What else? What about present? Not present, but present. Such a tiny difference.
Present. Present is
Yeah. So what does it mean to present something?
Maybe perform.
Perform, to show, to
Yes.
put on display.
Present.
Very good. And what's the third one?
Present.
Exactly.
Now.
And what is that?
now.
Exactly. Now or currently. So we have three words spelled the same way, but different meanings. So when you were reading, one time, Elon, I may have heard you wrong, but it sounded like you said present. Companies must present their shareholders. But very important, this is present. But you may have said it right the first time.
Present.
I just thought it was an important point to mention. In English, there are some words that are spelled exactly the same, but have completely different meanings. You have to be very careful how you pronounce words. Okay?
Okay.
So let's move on. So now we're going to learn a little bit about what audit means. Okay? So Jennifer, could you please read this?
Okay. Audit in feudal times, landlords would charge tenant farmers according to how much they produced from the land, and in order to ascertain this amount, they employed auditors to perform inspections. The word audit is derived from the Latin auditus, means hearing, in this context referring to hearing the report of the auditor. Modern auditing developed alongside companies, and KPMG is registered accounts auditor. It prides itself in offering customers the opportunity to improve their overall accounting function and gives advice on a wide variety of matters, helping customers to improve the running of their businesses. Thank you.
Perfect. Very, very good. Jennifer, one more time. Your voice broke up a tiny bit. What is this word?
Alongside.
Perfect, perfect. Oi, Jennifer, your reading was perfect. I have nothing to fix. I have nothing to fix. So,
Alongside.
Elon, Jennifer, any questions about this slide?
Thank you so much.
No question.
No questions?
Derived.
Very good. Excellent. So only one tiny thing I'm going to highlight is a lot of English. A lot of English comes from Latin roots. A lot of things in the English language come from Latin roots. So whenever you see something in Latin, try and hold on to that and apply it to many different things. So for example, auditus means hearing. So sometimes you will hear words like auditory, which has to do with hearing. You will hear audiograph.
Auditory.
You'll hear audiograph, which has to do with measuring hearing. So anytime you hear the word audio, it's referring to sound. So just whenever you see Latin words, make sure to get familiar with them because you'll see them a lot in English. Okay? Now, let us see. Question number 1.
Was there a federal period where you are from? If so, please
what is the root of this
it.
word? So what is this word?
It confused me. Feudal.
Much better. Exactly. So the root word of feudal is feud. Disagreement.
Okay, feud.
So was there a feudal period? Where you were from?
Yes. There was.
Very good.
Excellent. In the past, we have a feudal period, which when we were asked to follow the follow to the structure of the society rules, and we we have to we have some structure of this society, which is very different from now, and I think people all suffer in this period.
Very good. So, Elon, you're giving a lot of great information and detail about what happened or what kind of structural issues there were. But always remember, clear and concise. So the first question was there a feudal period where you were from? First, you would start with a simple yes or no answer. You would say yes, there was, or no, there wasn't. And then you would give a little bit of detail. So, for example, you would say, yes, there was a feudal. There was a feudal period. There was a feudal period from this to this, and then you would provide detail. So going back to what we said before, paraphrasing is very, very important. Taking parts of this question and linking them, bringing them back into our answer. Okay?
Okay.
So you would say, yes, there was a feudal period from year to year, and then you would give some details. Okay? Now, very well done. Jennifer, could you please read question number 2?
Okay. Why do you think limited liability companies have parts shareholders by law? I think it is in the shareholders to know the true and fair information because they invest capital into the company and they want their money to be safe and have yield from the company. Maybe they want to avoid risk.
Very good. Excellent, excellent. So, Jennifer, you gave a lot of really good points. So I just took one of them. So it is important for shareholders to have the true information from the company, which is exactly what it said here. So a very nice, simple answer: to verify their authenticity. Authenticity means, is it true? So you could say it is important for shareholders to have the true information of the company or to confirm their authenticity. Very good. Excellent, excellent answer. Yeah. So authenticity, which means to confirm that they are true and they are being honest.
Authenticity. Okay, thank you.
Very good. Now, Elon, what is question number 3?
Okay. Okay. What type of business advice do you think an accountant might be able to give? Accountant.
So let's practice paraphrasing. So what type of advice do you think an accountant might be able to give? So what would we say?
Well, if I were a accountant, I would give some advice in terms of
budget,
budget. For example, if the company has spent too much money on some fields, which were unnecessary or reasonable. I think maybe we can cut off some budgets in the next year and save money in this way.
So accountants could help. Yeah, so accountants could help with budgeting. Very, very good. So Elon, again, just paraphrasing. So basically what you said, if I were an accountant, I would give some advice about budgeting. But again, trying to paraphrase, we could say an accountant might be able to give advice about budgeting. So that is an example of paraphrasing and giving answer. And then you could go on to your example. For example.
Okay.
Otherwise, very, very good answer. But again, we want to continue practicing paraphrasing. When you paraphrase, your answers will be that much more clear and that much more to the point. Okay? But very, very good. Do either of you have any questions? Any questions about this slide?
No, thank you.
Very good. And Elon, any questions?
No.
Okay, let's move on then. Let's move on. Okay, so Elon read last. So, Jennifer, could you read this slide?
Good accounts a lot of information about a company in a kind of shorthand form. The two main elements are the balance sheet, which is a snapshot of the company's financial position, everything the company owned onto as its an owner an owed referral liabilities in accounting terms. On the last day of its financial year, and various headings. The profit and loss account. This details the profits or losses made on products and services sold in a year between balance sheets. While these documents give us a great deal of information and can be as the position of a company, a lot more would be needed in order to decide on how a company should be managed.
Excellent, excellent. Very good, very good. So Jennifer, again, your reading is so good. Your reading is so good. Maybe I should read and you should correct me. Very good. So Jennifer, I don't know if your computer broke up, if you just froze, or if you completely skipped this. But what does this say right here?
Formally referred unto as its assets.
Very good. Excellent, excellent. Very, very well done. So, Jennifer or Elon, any questions? Any questions about this slide?
No question, because my major is finance, so I'm familiar with this kind of material.
Very good. Ah, so Jennifer, your major is finance, but this is an English class. So, if anything, this is a great opportunity to ask questions that don't make sense to you in English. So, I have a question. Jennifer, did you learn all of this stuff in English? Did you learn all your finance stuff in English?
Yes, I studied at Tulane University in New Orleans. I think.
Oh no, so Jennifer, this class is so easy then. Okay, well,
No,
if there's any way I could challenge you, a little more, please let me know. So, Elon, do you have any questions?
No.
No questions?
Yeah.
Yes, are useful for us to grasp these techniques.
Very good. Excellent. Okay, so just really, really quickly, do both of you understand the word shorthand? What shorthand means? Or is that one nice and simple, or is it a little confusing?
Abbreviation.
It's an abbreviation or a short version. Abbreviation is very specific. Shorthand covers anything that's a short version. So, for example, Jen is not an abbreviation of Jennifer, but it's a shorthand of Jennifer. So, shorthand is anything that's just a short version. Okay?
Thank
Okay,
you.
let's move on. Okay, very good. So Jennifer, it's good to know that you have a finance background. So if I have questions, now I'm going to ask you. Okay, so
Yes,
Elon, what does this say?
Profitability.
Profitability ratios.
Ratios.
Okay, ratios. Okay, I'll try it. Profitability ratios. This measure a company's profits in relation to its assets. There are two main profitability ratios that are typically used by accountants, namely return on capital
Very good.
employed, ROCE. This measures how much money the company takes in using all of the assets under its control before making payments to any owners of those assets. Profit margin. This is the profit taken on each unit sold. Asset turnover must also be taken into account. Companies with high asset turnovers, such as supermarkets, can be very profitable with low profit margins.
Very good. Excellent, excellent. So, Elon, you made very, very few mistakes. Almost all of these I circled are the same word. Almost all of these words I circled are the same word. So, this word is assets. Assets.
Assets.
So, assets.
Assets.
Very, very
Assets.
good job. Excellent. So, exactly. So, those are assets. Now, the other word is ratios. Ratios.
Ratios. Ratios.
Ratios. Very, very
Ratios.
good. Very good. And now, so this word you said wrong, but I want you to try again, but break it into two separate words. Two separate words.
Supermarket.
Yeah, so supermarkets. Supermarkets.
Supermarkets. Supermarkets.
Very good. Excellent. 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 Very good. Perfect. Very good. So, Elon, Jennifer, do either of you have any questions about this slide? Any questions?
No.
No, thank you.
Very good. Perfect. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So, Jennifer, you're doing such a good job with reading. I have two ideas, and you could tell me which one you could prefer. Actually, three ideas. You could continue to read. That's option one. Option number two, I could read, and you could correct me. I'll purposely make a few mistakes, and you circle my mistakes. That way, we'll test how well you could follow along and find mistakes. Option number three, Elon could read, and you could correct. You could do circles, and we could work together.
Okay, I have one question. I don't know how to circle it.
Are you on your phone or computer?
I used my cell phone.
Okay, that won't work then. So, what I want you to do, just remember, which one do you prefer?
Okay.
If I read, do you want to correct? You'll just remember what mistakes I make, and you'll correct me after?
Okay. I would like Elon read this slides, and then I correct
Okay.
it, and then you correct me.
Okay. Absolutely, absolutely. We'll work on that together.
Thank you.
But just out of respect, I want you to wait for Elon to completely finish. When I say, when we get to a point where I say Elon's done, we'll work together. Okay. So, Elon, can you start
Ratio.
reading this?
Okay. Okay, I will try it. Okay, liquidity concerns a company's ability to obtain cash, and Hensei Pay is database. There are three main measures of a company's liquidity: namely.
Very good. We'll pause there. Time out. So, Elon, when you read, sometimes you say it correctly your second or third time. So those are great. Those ones I won't correct you. Great example is the word liquidity. One time you struggled,
Yes.
but you corrected yourself and did a beautiful job. So, Jennifer, did you notice any words? Notice any words that were a little bit tricky?
Yes, for example, the liquidity and hence, and also debts is silence.
Very good, very good. So, Elon, this is the word hence. Hence. So, the E is silent. The E is silent. Very good. Jennifer, any
Hence.
other words?
Debts, pay its debts.
Exactly. So, Elon, this is a really tricky one. The B is silent. It kind of sounds like DET. Kind of sounds like debts. Debts.
That's.
debt,
Very good, very
Debts.
good. Any other words, Jennifer?
No, thank you.
Yeah, I agree. Elon, very good reading. Very, very well done. Now, let's read this one. Let's read the next one. Elon, continue reading.
Okay. The current ratio, this measures a company's ability to meet financial obligations using its current assets on a short-term basis. This can be misleading since selling stocks quickly, for example, could lead to significant losses.
Very good. Excellent. Pause. Jennifer, did you notice any words?
Yes, I think there are two. One
Loss.
is ratio and the obligations.
So you said ratio and what else?
Obligations.
ratio,
Okay. So ratio, he actually said pretty well. Elon, I would say you said ratio pretty well, but it's one that you word that was tricky for you on previous slides. So can you just repeat ratio?
Ratio.
Very
Yes,
good.
good.
And what is this next word? What is this word?
Obligation.
So let's break that one down. So obligations. Obligations.
Obligations. Obligations.
Very good, very good. Excellent. So there's just one more I wanted to add. This word, you said it correctly, but you really need to emphasize the T. It sounded a little bit like you said assess. It sounded a little bit like you said assess. So one is assess, but one's assets. Assets, like announcing, making sure that you get that assets, like that T and S sound, okay?
Okay.
Now, this one, the next line.
Okay. The quick ratio, this is the same as described above with the emission of stocks.
Excellent, excellent. Jennifer, any words?
Omission.
Teacher, I have one question. This is omission. Omission? Oh.
Yeah, so it's kind of like being on a mission, omission.
Omission.
So letter O, mission. Yeah, omission. Very good, very good.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, so Jennifer, any other words?
You're very good.
Very good. So, tiny one, It sounded a little bit more like you said a rat. You know, like a sound? It's a ratio. Not ratio,
A
ratio.
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 Very good. Excellent.
Ratio.
Excellent. Okay. Elon, on to the next one.
Okay. Asset turnover and debtor days. This show how quickly a company can generate cash and collect its debits. Sorry.
Very
De-
good. Very good. Collect
Debts.
its debts.
Debts.
Very good. Excellent. Very well done. Jennifer, any words? Any words?
No. Very good.
Yeah, it was very good. I'm just making really, really tiny changes. So, Elon, that was great reading. I understood everything you said perfectly, but I want your English to be as perfect as possible. So I'm going to be really, really picky. This, it sounded a little bit like you said this, but make sure I'm making a these sound. Not
These.
this. These show how quickly. These
Okay.
show how quickly.
This show.
Okay? Other than
This
that,
show.
fantastic. Fantastic.
This
Very, very
show.
good. Very good. So, unfortunately, we are 7 minutes over and we're very low on time. So, what I'm thinking, we're going to do this last slide. I'm going to read it and I'm going to make 5 mistakes. And I want you two to work together to see if you can remember my mistakes, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Ready? If we weren't so over time, I would let you guys continue to read. But here we go. So, gearing ratios show how stable a business is and how easily changes could affect its financial position. The quality of borrowed capital which the company uses is compared to the total capital used. Highly geared companies use a lot of borrowed capital and may be enabled to pay their debts if profits fall. When profits are growing, however, they give shareholders a higher return on investment. Low-geared companies are able to increase borrowing, to take on new projects, or to get through tough economic times. Woo! Okay, now we're going to take turns. Okay? Hopefully I can remember all the mistakes I made.
Economic.
But, Jennifer, you go
Economic.
first. Pick one mistake I made. One mistake.
Ratios.
What about it? What did I say?
Unable.
Ratios.
Ah, very good. So I said ratios, but it should be ratios. Exactly. So a nice hard A. So can both of you say ratios? Ratios?
Ratio.
Yes.
Ratios.
Very good. Excellent, excellent. And now let's see. Now, Elon, what mistake did I make?
Effect.
I'm not sure, but I guess
Geared.
unable. Is it right?
Yeah, do you remember what I said?
Enable.
Exactly. So both have slightly similar meanings, but very good job. Sometimes when I rush speaking, I even make mistakes like this. That's why it's so important to read slowly and clearly. Okay? Now, very good job. Now, Jennifer, what else? What mistake did I make?
Quantity. You read quality.
Ah, very good. Excellent. Now, Elon, could you find another mistake I made?
Another.
Effect.
I'm not sure.
One is a lot easier to find than the other. One is so hard, you guys may not find it. So, what did I say here? What did I say here?
Geared.
Geared.
Exactly, but what is
Geared.
this word? What is... So this makes a g sound. G. Geared. Geared.
Geared.
Geared.
Geared.
Oh, I see.
Geared, exactly.
Geared.
Geared.
Exactly. Now, the last mistake, I'm going to point this one out. I felt it was so important to make it because it is one of the most common mistakes in the English language. I know many English speakers, native English speakers, who mix these two words up. I said the word effect. Effect. What's the difference between effect and affect?
Effect.
Effect. The emphasis is on the second effect.
Exactly.
Effect.
So one makes a off sound, one is effect, and one is affect. Okay? So very important.
Yes.
When you're using a language, you want to make sure you are
Effect.
using the proper affect
Effect.
or effect, okay?
Okay.
So,
Yes.
unfortunately,
Yes,
we're
very-
out of time for the day. We're out of time. I'd go a little longer, but I have another class. So, do either of you have any questions? Any questions before we end for the day?
No question. Thank
No,
you, teacher.
thank you.
Thank you, Elon.
Very good. Elon, Jennifer, it was great teaching you. You both did an amazing job. I hope to see you two again. If or when I see you again, I'll make sure to tailor the learning a little bit better. Elon, we'll focus on your pronunciation and paraphrasing a little bit more. And Jennifer, I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you more of a teaching role to help me in correct mistakes because your reading is very good. Your reading is very good. So, both of you, have a
Thank
great
you so
night
much.
or a great morning, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Bye bye. Thank you, teacher.
Bye.